Hello, and welcome to number 7 from my cinema tutorials. And today I want to show you fast how I have done this one. My tutorials are always for beginners, and I hope you follow up. And when you have some questions, you can go on my Instagram, that 1971 underscore, and from here on you find always a link that you can follow and come to this page on Facebook and message me here. So say hello or whatever. If you're a nice girl, you maybe like to meet me on one day, I don't know. So yeah, this is very simple. So this I have done with particles, but I will show you a way without particles. Here's a little bit dynamics and a plane with also with a little bit cloth. So let's jump in cinema. We bring in a plane, make the plane 150 by 150, and we bring 80 segments so that we have a strong, nice mesh here going on. Press C to make it editable, then make a right click, go to your simulation tags and add a cloth, go to the force and bring the gravity to 0. Then we go to simulate to particles and add an attractor again, add in rotation again, and add in turbulence. You click the cloth tag on, go to the expert, and then we add all 3 guys inside here. So you cannot do that, you have to do that single wise. We go to the rotation, go to this cycle thing here and hold shift, and then you bring this to 90. Plus 90, minus 90, I don't care, bring it to 90. The attractor, we bring a little bit up here, like this, and we go, click it again, and bring the strength to about 800, so we maybe have to increase it a little bit, and the turbulence, we go to bring the scale a little bit up by 70, and then we just press a play. So this looks quite nice. We bring the attractor a little bit higher up, just a little bit. So it's a lot of adjustments. So I got tabak in my mouth. Oh damn, tastes ridiculous. So rotation you bring down to 3, and then we play again. Alright, so we play again, and then there where you like it, you stop it. So we have a closer look to it. Looks quite nice. So what we can do now is to bring here a little bit more. It looks like a square here. I don't like that. So you hold the timeline in the eye, so you are around by 50, 55. For later, we go here, we go there, and to the live selection, you bring your radius a little bit higher up, and just make a little bit the corners phrasing out, or what is the name for this here? Make it a little bit randomness here, and so looks good to me. And we remove it. We go now and add a cloth surface. We can make 1.5 thickness to it, and then we play again. So by 55 was it, like this. This is okay for me. I go for that, and select your cloth, press C, bring this baby out, delete the rest here. The cloth tag we can also remove, and from now on, looks a little bit harsh here, but if you go later and at your subdivision surface, it looks much nicer. So but for now we just let it, because more segments, when we play with dynamics, it were stuck a little bit then. So we have to turn this guy around. You go to your coordinates and bring this to 180, and I have a drop to floor script or a plugin or whatever you call that, and now we have our case or flower or whatever. What we can do now, I like to recommend you, if you don't have X particles, you can use Umami. It's for free. You can download it somewhere here by RenderTom, and you have to drop it in your cinema folder, there where you have your plugins, and then you restart your cinema, and then you should have it in your plugins down under here. Like you can see here, we have here splines, and when you go to the spline type here, you can add splines into it, make it crazy. So, but we just go for, let's go for 6. We let the segments, and here I know the numbers already, so that's why I type now just 20 all over. And then we are good to go here. So they are maybe not high enough, so this is okay like that. So what you can do now is bring in a circle, bring the circle to 1 centimeter, bring in a sweep, and then you select your Umami, press C, select all the splines, make a right click and connect objects and delete, and then you bring this baby in the sweep, and then this we can clean up. So here you go. We have a nice, this doesn't matter here that we have here some space, because if you care about that, you make them longer, or I fill this up with balls, so this is then no problem more. What we can do now is make the spline, maybe, yeah, it looks everything okay. We bring in a sphere, make the sphere 5 centimeters. My cat is driving me nuts. Bring it to a cloner, and we want to clone on an object, and then the object will be the spline, and we count by 1, and we bring this offset here by 99. So here you go. So, and have a nice let me see, nice balls here. I see here something. This we can get maybe right about that when we, okay. You make the spline to uniform by the points, and then it's everything okay. So then we have our balls, we have our splines, and then we just need to add some balls in the case. So this is very easy. You make again a sphere and drop it down to, let's make it 6. Segments we can make also down to 18. So bring this guy up, and then bring it to a cloner. The cloner mode, we go to grid array, and this little guy we make by 20 by 20 by 20, and like this, so they are touching each other, like this, on the other side, like this. So what we have to do now is we bring our cloner a simulation tag, a rigid body, and on the rigid body you go to apply tag to children, to all, and to shape on automatic mode dynamics. And on our case we need also one, and there we add a collider body. And this collider body is really important that you set this shape to static mesh. So don't let it on automatic, because otherwise it will just fall on the first, will the balls fall on this first point here, and this will be like a plane, so they will not drop inside. And so now we just press play, and then voila. We can add maybe some more, make it one round more, like this, and here we are. So looks nice. That's it for that little thing. And so add that to a nice scene, and you are good to go. Alright, this was part 1, and maybe part 2 will follow soon. Have a good one. Bye bye. Hello, and welcome to part 2. And yeah, it's now 8 days later since I made this one here for you, or explain how to do that. And like you can see, the followings or my last 5 daily renders here are done with X particles, and I like to show you some simple ways to do daily renders very fast, very short, and effectful. I like to hold them very short, and I like also to say, if there's anything what you know better, you can message me or help me to come to an idea to make some things better. So because I'm exploring by myself X particles, and I learned this everything by myself, so I have no teacher or anything else. We are going to start with this one, and I will explain you also this one here. So for this one here we need an espresso rig. I think it's made by Robert Lega. It's a German artist. He was for some years ago very active in this cinema community. Made a lot of stuff with espresso, and this guy have a very nice eye for design, and so, but right now nothing is to see from him, so it's very bummer. But let's jump in cinema. If you need, if you want to have this espresso rig or script, it's a C4D file. Hit me a message over my Facebook, and I can send you this. Or you can look for yourself and use Google, type in Gride Maker V1.0. So it's for free, and it's a very nice tool if you like to make some stuff like textiles or things like this here. But in my case, I want to reproduce this thing here, and I don't want just this simple geometry here going on. I want to have crazy lines randomly going from one to one, and I just want to take me out one white object and one blue object. And so I select this one here. I make it now a little bit fast. If you don't follow, watch back. So I need to make a copy here, and this one I get into a connect. So I press editable, and then I have here a little boy. I call him 1. So this is the white one. and the white one, this connect we can remove. And now we go and do the same thing on the other way. We do this a 0 and here a 1, and we should get here a blue one. So this 1, 2 and connect, make it editable, get this null out, rename it 2 and 2, and remove this one. So this selections we don't need, and also the materials we don't need, to get everything nice and clear. We have it here. So we can go now to our top view, height number 2, and select 1 and go here, and only select visible elements. We uncheck and scroll a little bit in, and we just want some parts here, and we make a selection from it. So, and the same shit we do with number 2. We hide number 1 and select number 2 like this, and make a selection. So now we have both. We can go to our perspective viewport, and now we can start with X particles. So I want to start with number 1, so that's why I choose out, I hide number 2. So I go to X particles, choose out my emitter, go to the object, emitter shape. I want my object, drop in the 1, and the selection also I drop inside. By the emission, I want to have a shot, and I want only 100 particles. With the emitter selected, you go again to X particles and click the trail, and by the trail you go to B-spline and additive points. Then we go to X particles again, and to the modifiers, to motion, and then to follow surface. And the follow surface, we have to say which object the particles should follow. I want particle 1, and I drop it to the objects, and then I go back to my timeline and press play, and voila, the particles are rolling over my surface. We wait, or not we wait, we make some more frames here, and play again. I roll me a cigarette, because it will take 200 frames maybe until they have reached the other side. So alright, we're coming closer. When it hits here, I will stop. So I'm not doing so much tralala here on it. I just show you the way how to do that. You can add here to your emitter turbulence, a little bit wind, or whatever. So I do it just simple, on a simple way here. You can add more particles, or yeah. So when you have this done, you go make a right click on your XP trail, current state to object. I'm sorry. Current state to object, and then you give this baby a name. We call it 1. Remove this tag here and hide this one. Also now we hide the 1 and open up the 2. Go back to our timeline, go to our emitter, to the object, and we have to replace the 1 and polygon selection with our 2 object. This we do now. And the follow surface, we kick out the 1 and drop in the 2. And the same shit we play now. Wait a little while. So soon there. It goes much faster when the trail type is on linear, but the splines are not looking very nice then. So alright, we can stop this here, and we make again a right click on the tray, go to current state to object, give this new baby a name, and we call it 2. We can remove now our X particle stuff from the viewport, and we can also remove these 2 guys here, because this was just a helper to get our splines. And from here on we go to X particles, to the X spline measure, and we drop this in by 1, not the joints, and then we drop in the 1 here, and here we have our geometry done. So you can go here, right click on the measure, current state to object, give this baby again a name. This was the 1, and then the same shit, we can remove the spline 1, and now we drop in 2. Make again a right click on the measure, current state to object, give this baby a name, and remove 2, remove the measure, and now we have our mesh done so far. And now we need a cloner, and the cloner we get by MoGraph. We drop in our 1. So like you can see, it shows here up. This axis we don't like, we like to have it on the Z axis. And I know the number already, so it's 168, because I recorded this tutorial already once, and I always forget to activate my microphone. So this we make a copy from, we remove the 1 inside and drop in the 2, and go back to the settings and copy 168 to the X axis, I believe. And voila. So from here on you can continue to make the mesh closer. So we can go to our cloners, select them all, press C, make a right click, select children, make again a right click, connect objects and delete. So we have 1 guy now here. So we can make a copy from it, go to the coordinations and type in 180, and with our baby selected, we drop it with the eyeball. I do that now with the eyeball here inside. So this should fit. Let's see from up if the... Well, it looks quite good so far. Yeah. And now we can go and make our... You can go add a camera. First we make a nice size here. Let's make it 600 by 600 just for tutorial shit here. And to see what we are rendering. So now we position this here a little bit on a nice way, like this. Maybe a little bit closer, like this. So this looks good to me. Add the camera, protection tag, and in the camera we can go also make it a little bit so like this, maybe a little bit different looking, so a nice angle like this. So, and what you can do now, bring in a material, set up some, I don't know, so we can use here from Grayscale Gorilla this top coat shit, and bring in a chrome, make it maybe magnesium, we some blur inside that it's not quite so shiny. Bring this here, and oh shit, I couldn't make a other one. And again, and let's do this one here, and also here a little bit blur, maybe a little bit more, like this. And this to the other one. Let me see the render settings. We are on Standard. It gives from Grayscale Gorilla on this top coat a nice add render settings. So for any case of render problems, when you don't have when you have some problems with the physical rendering, you should use that here, and it's very good. Otherwise, when you do something with subsurface scattering or something like that, you should I missed some lights, I guess. Let's go here, choose out something here, a hall. This we turn off. So, and again, why does that have not rendered? And maybe have my second oops, this was not my case. What's up here? No, nothing. Clear. So now you can see when you make some nice background or something like that. So you can get some nice stuff here from. So, but I'm not making things nice now with you. So I just show you how to do things. And here you can see how this grid is made. And I show you now other kind of stuff what we can do, and now we add in a plane. Make this plane 150 by 150, and we can make it directly editable. And we go to our top view, and we need here also a selection. Or we have to make a selection, and here we don't have to give attention to the visible elements. This is okay for me for now. Make a selection. We go back to our perspective view. Let me see where it is here. That was there. So we can make it maybe like this. Okay, and I go back. I show you the trick already, so then we have a full viewport here. And now we add in an emitter, and also here we have to we like to emit from our object. We bring the object inside and also the selection, and we have to bring inside our follow subsurface. And on the plane we have to bring in the subsurface. Now you see it's making not so much here. So when we select our emitter and bring in a trail, you see not so much here. So they are just producing the particles where we have our selection. So, but what we can do is now we can bring some modifier that calls XP direction. You find that also under the motion. Follow path, where was it? This one here. And like you can see here, we have here an arrow, and this shows you in which direction it goes. And when I cross this here, you can see it's moving. and I want it on that way, so 90 degrees plus, because here's our selection, and when I press now play, so the particles follow this direction. So very, very handy. So like you can see here, they are now flat like shit, and nothing really special happened. And when we go to my Instagram, so we have here some bubbles or hills or whatever. So this we can do with a simple displacer. We drop in the displacer under the plane, give by the object a highness from 45 or something like that, go to the shading and drop in the noise, and we go inside the noise and give it the global scale, a good number from 5-600, and now you have something like this. You choose out your noise type and make some adjustments what fits for you the best. And like you can see, the particles are following the plane all over where you have them, where we have our noise patterns or whatever it's called. So in this case we can go make the emitter by the emission a little bit higher, that it's getting a little bit but in this case we just add in now a shader, a hair material, drop that to our trail, and on the trail we go and make this to a current state to object, that we get a spline from it. This litter we do off, and that I can render over my team, that I can use my team render, because I have on my other machines no X particles done, because it costs too much money. I have to make it on the other way, and to find me a way how to render then my stuff. By thickness on the hair material we bring it to 1.1, and here by color we can, my favorite colors are pink and this green bluish, so something like this here. And the plane needs also a little bit color. We can make maybe a blue pinkish, no, something like this here, and we can add in a nice reflection here, like this, and then we bring in some lights, one on the right side, like here, a little bit higher up. Go to details, make a fall off inside, and then just bring in the lights like this. When you press here Control and move the light, and just let the mouse go, you have a second light going on. So with both selected here, we go to our generator, make shadow maps, and then we can choose light 1 to be a little bit orange and not to be that shiny. Let's make it 70, and the other light we make it a little bit greenish and make it on 80, and then we find us a nice spot like this here maybe. Let's check our render settings. If we have hair inside, we have it. And now we send it to our team viewer. Now you see here, this render solutions are now medium, but you can play a lot with the lights. They are a little bit too tight on the objects here, I guess. So when we This was the red one. The blue one needs to come a little bit more out like this. Now we go back here, and so it's a lot of adjustments, and with more hair and with a better render setting set up, it will look also much better. So you can bring some more reflections to your hair, play a little bit around with turbulence. I guess I had a little bit turbulence in my scene, and these are the ways how to make stuff like that here. So yeah, I hope it was a little bit helpful for you, and that you get some smell for X particles, because it's really fun to play with. And I'm not so into it, so but that's what I learned, so I like to give it to the people out there who like to learn it. And like I said before, if you know something, a better way how to do things, just let me know. And if you want to have this espresso rig because you don't find it, go to my Facebook page, message me here, and I will send you that. Okay, that was it so far. This was now a very long tutorial for me, and the next one will be, of course, a little bit shorter. Bye bye.